afternoon, everyone. Sergeant McCready here. So today we are going to work on the phonetic alphabet. Now you may not know what the phonetic alphabet is, but I guarantee you've heard it before even if you didn't realize it. The phonetic alphabet, which looks like this, is essentially a longer way of saying normal letters and numbers that you already know. And you ask, well, why would we need to make this more difficult? Why can't I just say 4 and A and B just like everyone else does? Well, this started way back before World War I, when they were first making radios and communications devices that actually could carry voice. They realized very quickly that sometimes interference happens. Interference is similar if you've ever been on a cell phone and you walked inside a building or maybe got on an elevator and the person on the other end, their voice got very crackly, or maybe their words just started dropping out of the conversation and you couldn't quite make out what they were saying. Using the phonetic alphabet, people were able to communicate more clearly, and what they were saying was more easily able to be understood, especially if it was really important. So, bit of a history lesson now. As I mentioned, first alphabet was made prior to World War I. During World War I, most nations kind of used their own version of it. There wasn't a whole lot of standardization. Right before World War II, 1941, the U.S. adopted the Joint Navy-Army Radio Telephony alphabet. This alphabet you've probably come across if you ever watch things like Band of Brothers. You'll notice that the companies will be named things like Able and Baker. That's because the original phonetic alphabet that the Army used, Alpha and Bravo, were Able and Baker. To enable during World War II for the US, Australia, and the UK to talk, because at the time everyone was using different alphabets, they created a combined alphabet. And that was used for most of the war. During World War II, the U.S. also conducted a lot of research into using the phonetic alphabet. And you may ask yourself, well, this all sounds pretty easy. Why do we need to do a bunch of research into this? Just put a random word with it. What you run into is when you're talking on the radio, if you're using the word, or you want to say the letter N, for instance, and one person uses November. That's great. Well, if you're using the word remember for R, those two words sound very similar and it would be easy to get them confused on a crackling radio. So you have to make sure in the phonetic alphabet, if you ever decide to design one, that all the words sound distinctly different and can't be confused with any other words. So they had to do a lot of research into finding what were the best words to use. Finally, after World War II, NATO adopted the spelling alphabet created by the International Civil Air Organization, using a combination of research from that organization as well as their own to create the current alphabet. Now, if you notice, on our pronunciation guide, some of the stuff looks a little bit interesting. Like when you look at alpha, the phonetic pronunciation has AL and then FAH. The reason they do that has to do with the PH sound. I know in English you see PH and you're like, phone, alpha, it makes the F sound. In a bunch of other languages though, especially where English is a second language, PH doesn't do that. So they put the pronunciation guide together, they had to use an F on it to make it clear for other countries and people who speak English as a second language. So, going down the top of the list with the pronunciation, you have Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot, Golf, Hotel, India, Juliet, Kilo, Lima, not Lima, it's Lima, Mike, November, Oscar, Papa, not Papa, but Papa, Quebec, Romeo, Sierra, Tango, Uniform, Victor, Whiskey, X-Ray, Yankee, and Zulu. Then we also have numbers. Numbers are 0, 1 with the W, 2, tree. Again, why don't we just say 3? That TH does different things in different languages, so we're going to pronounce it like the thing growing outside. It's a tree. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, niner, 100, and thousand. Again, in thousand, you see the TH being done differently, essentially, for other countries. So, I'll make you a deal. Next time you're in the recruiting office, if you can give me or any other recruiter your full name, first and last, as well as your birthday, using the phonetic alphabet and number system, without having it written down, it's got to be off of memory, we'll go ahead and hook you up with a free piece of Army gear, coffee cup, water bottle, maybe even a t-shirt if we have them. Whatever we got lying around will be your choice. So, as always, I hope you all have a good day, stay safe, don't do anything stupid, and drink water.